The Buddh International Circuit. It's played host to booming V8 Formula One cars in the past, and today it'll come alive with the angry rumble of a V8 SUV, the Audi RS Q8. The 5.14km BIC with its long straights and wide sweeping corners should prove to be a happy hunting ground for the 600 horsepower RS Q8 that's here to set the fastest lap for an SUV. Aditya Patel, the man on the hot seat, runs you through the flying lap.
And here we go at the Buddh International Circuit, charging down the main straight, heading towards turn 1, just going to hit a little bit over 200 kilometers per hour before we brake really hard into this right-hander. So important to use as much width as we can there. Going into turn 2, which is a long left-handed, not necessarily too much input on the steering wheel. Using that incline there to brake really late for turn 3, get the front pitched in, use all that exit and barreling down the long straight. One of the longest straights in the world, especially when it comes to the Formula One calendar, just over 1 kilometer. As we head towards turn 4, the hairpin, it's really tricky because we're going to be a little bit over 240 kilometers per hour before we brake really hard. As we reach the curb on the left, you see there, getting into the hairpin, slowing it down from 240 to about 80 kilometers per hour. Again, using as much width as we can on the exit there. Now heading to turn 5, this is where it gets really tricky through the twisty bits of the circuit, because we don't have as much aero in this car as you would in a regular supercar. So you've got to keep the car as stable as possible, keep that pitch and roll under control. As we go through turn 9 and turn 10 there, you see there's just minor corrections on the steering wheel as we're going into the parabolica. Keep the car tight for as long as we can. It's a long corner, so it's so important to look out of your right window, look as far as you can. Every driver in the world keeps their eyes far in front. Now going into turn 12 and 13, fast left-hander, fast right-hander. Again, you want to keep your foot flat on the floor through the right-hander. As you get to the top of the hill there, you can't see the corner here, so it's important to use some kind of reference. I use the gantry on top as a braking reference, and now coming down into the last corner, very important to get the car slowed down, turned in, and then bang on the gas as we get on the main straight and then cross the finish line for a flying lap.
Two minutes 16.767. That scorcher of a lap means the Audi RS Q8 has now officially recorded the fastest lap for an SUV at the Buddh International Circuit. And with that, the Audi RS Q8 also enters the India Book of Records with fastest laps for an SUV at each of India's 3 racetracks. Only fitting for an SUV that rode into the limelight with a record-setting lap at the legendary Nordschleife. Stay tuned for our final video on the making of the fastest lap, the behind-the-scenes action and the 3,000+ kilometer pan-India journey from track to track in the Audi RS Q8.